YouTube stream started. I forgot about that. All right. I'm feeling a goated MC for my first role. I'm gonna go love interest 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠, bruh. I'm gonna go love interest 𝙏𝙏𝙡𝙠. Even though that does lock me out of younger characters, I gotta be careful. She could also be a sensei. I think I'm still going love interest, bruh. She's gonna sell hella figures. You know what I mean? Y'all not thinking about merchandising like me. Okay, so this is damn near the only. The question becomes, so y'all gonna build a Slife anime? Like, where are you putting this? Where are you putting, bro? Deuteragonists? Y'all can't decide where to put this Slife character? Alright, y'all locked him into Deuteragonist. Interesting. Interesting choice. Rentaru, okay. So I could go Sensei, but I think I'm gonna go MC. I think I'm gonna go MC, because this is actually, he's already an MC, and he's around 𝙏𝙏𝙏 age, like, you know, and we don't gotta worry about any weird shit. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I don't know what type of anime this is. This kind of just became a seinen. Maybe I'm going more adult type cast, you know? But I feel like I'm building a decent show so far. I feel like I'm building something. I don't know what y'all are cooking. What's good next? 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠. This is interesting. Yeah. I can see main villain. I could also, I mean, he is a deuteragonist, but you already filled that role. Okay. Now the question is, I got some decent roles going as of right now. 𝙏𝙖𝙡𝙠. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking we have deuteragonist 𝙏𝙖𝙡, and then we do like a lone wolf and cub sort of thing, right? We have like the orphan child, and then we got like, you know, the grizzled old man, tired of life, whatever. You know what I mean? They end up making an unlikely bond. I feel like I'm cooking. Hold on, 𝙏𝙖𝙡 deuteragonist. I'm building a goated seinen right here, bruh. It's like a more mature spy family sort of thing going on. You are not. I'm cooking, bro. You're hating. What are you cooking right now? You got 𝙏𝙖𝙡 as your main villain in a. Like, what are you gonna do with Hyakkimaru from 𝙏𝙏𝙏, bro? You're about to build some bullshit. He's not even from the same time period as these other characters. Yeah. Time travel isekai. You don't got a time traveler. Actually, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it a little bit. I'm still cooking way harder, though. I just need a good main villain. Sensei is kind of gonna... You know what I'm saying? I might lose Sensei. Jolene? All right, here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking. What's good, Moeed? Nah, like, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. So, well, let's see. All right, Jolene's 19. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Jolene is like an employee under our scientist at the top, right? Like young 𝙏𝙖𝙡. And like she's like Loki helping him out on the low because he don't know nothing about raising 𝙏𝙖𝙡. He don't know nothing about, having a daughter, trying to raise a teen girl. And so like Jolene's like giving him pointers and stuff. Like that's kind of the sensei role she's playing here. And then, obviously 𝙏𝙗 there is the love interest. You have I feel like my shit cooking. Like you gotta detach yourself. This is no longer really a action story, bro. This is no longer an action story. This is more of like a spy family. Like it has action as like the frame story, but it's more a story about found family. I feel like I'm cooking, bro. I'm about better than whatever bullshit y'all are cooking over here. I don't know what's going on here. Now the main villain really has to tie it all together. For this to work, the main villain has to be like someone who would have put 𝙏𝙖 in the position that she's in. That 𝙏𝙗𝙡, some more bullshit. I'm thinking like my main villain gotta be the person who put 𝙏𝙖 into the position that she's in. Oh, did I start my audio recording? Yeah, I did. Okay. Where y'all putting 𝙏𝙗𝙡? We got some saying sensei, some saying love interest. All right. Come on. I'm already smoking y'all. Like this is a GG. Y'all can't even like put a full story through your y'all got a 1950 samurai going against a 2005 businessman teenager. Okay, so look. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Mahito, right? He is the embodiment. We're not doing who can survive the UK DP. This nigga was swear he getting UK representation. You just said it was Slife? Okay, well, can my story not evolve? Listen. All right, here's what we're doing, right? In this world, there exist creatures. I mean, devils and curses are low-key the same thing, right? And so there exist creatures that sit somewhere between devils and curses, right? And 𝙏𝙖 is one of them, right? She's like a devil man, like exactly what she is in canon. All right, we got Rintaro. He works for an organization that Tsunade leads that fights these devil curse things, right? And then he also works alongside Jolene, who's like sort of like a prodigious devil hunter sort of thing, right? The 19-year-old prodigy trope. Now, you know what I mean? He ends up, let me lock Mahito in real quick. He ends up, like he's supposed to go kill 𝙏𝙖 for a mission, but he goes on the mission and he's like, damn, she's just a kid. Like, I want to give her a chance. And then he brings her into the organization. And, come on, bro, I'm cooking. What do y'all got over here? Oh, that's a good sensei. I'm not gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna open up the courtroom. I need to hear one of y'all put the plot together. Because I don't feel like y'all plot is fucking with mine right now. So if one of y'all could come up with a plot through your characters, then I'll be willing to hear it. There's the chord, by the way. Rules, no fun, no blah, blah, blah. It's basically no fun. Whoever in the courtroom all right, DP is the first in the courtroom. Also, remind me to turn off this AC when it gets time to record. DP. What's good, bruv? I'm willing to hear the angle you take for this series. I don't think you're fucking with mine, though. Okay, here come the chainsaw man glaze, bro. I should have known. I should have known. Alright, bro. You don't. Alright, bro. I'm. Okay. Uh huh. Right. Nigga, Code Geass? Nah, go ahead, bro. Keep going. Keep going. Y'all already lost just off that, but it's fine. I'm willing to hear y'all out. Okay. Man, yeah, you gotta go, bro. Nigga said Code Geass, bro. All right, that was not the one. That was not the one. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a lob. So Kaiba has actually time traveled before to fight Yugi. So y'all could maybe work something out there. You know, Kaiba's time travel, but he could, I don't know. And then Mao Mao is from a similar time period to Hikamaru. It's really your Deuteragonist that sells you the most. But I feel like my shit fries y'all's, bro. My shit fries y'all's. So we can run it back one more time. I already 2-0'd y'all on the day. I already 2-0'd y'all. But I'll let y'all, I'll give y'all one more go around at it. If you're in the YouTube stream, slide on over to the Twitch, by the way. All right, we got this broken-ass Monogatari character. Off the rip, I'm going main villain for her. Not only does she look devious, and did my light just turn red? Not only does she look devious, because she's like a time, I mean, not a time warper, a reality warper. There's a lot of potential here for main villain, you know? How they're going to defeat her, that's not my job to answer. I just have to build out the concept. I'm going to turn the music up. Do you lose points if your MC can't beat her? No, I don't think so. Casca. Interesting. All right, I'm going to lock y'all rolling in 3, 2. Casca Deuteragonist. Not horrible, not horrible. Not horrible. Panda. Okay, so already I feel like we're working a very bizarre, sort of off the walls type of show, right? And so I don't think Panda Sensei is a bad idea. You know what I mean? Panda, he does kind of play somewhat of a sensei role sometimes. Or not even a sensei, but just like, you know what I mean? Encouraging, support. And so we're already kind of going with like a whole bizarre thing. We have a reality manipulator as the main villain. So honestly, a Panda Sensei isn't too out there. I think I'm going to go Panda Sensei. I think I'm going to go Panda Sensei. Usopp. Usopp, MC, we got some Sensei, we got some main villain in there. I told you we needed a bum section. Nah, bum section is too easy. That's a get out of jail free card. That's a get out of jail free card. Shark always coming back to some ludicrous roles. All right, let me see. I'm gonna need to really like. I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to take a risk here. So Gene, he doesn't really have that MC dog in him. Let's get that out the way. Let's get that out of the way. He don't really got that MC sort of charisma to him. He could be a deuteragonist, but I don't think he's kind of too flat. I think I'm going to take a risk and go love interest. I'm going to take a risk and go love interest. We might end up doing some yaoi. We might end up getting a girl MC. But like his defining character trait is that he's just kind of like a good dude, you know? And, you know, he has some good qualities as a partner. I'm going to go love interest. We're already building out something strange here. We got like a normal dude. So what I'm thinking, like, here's what I'm thinking in my head, right? All right, so we have the reality manipulator villain. And then we got Sensei as a panda, right? So I'm thinking we have this boy or girl, you know, that is in love with Gene or whatever. And Gene kind of lives in like the real world, okay? He's like the anchor. You know that trope of like, oh, the MC is doing all of this crazy stuff, but then the love interest is part of the regular world. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're going with that trope there. Yeah. We're going with that trope. We just gotta hopefully, you know, the MC and deuteragonist are gonna be very important. All right, I said love interest. That's 4. Usopp. I mean, right now, like Nami. This would be a good role in isolation, but the Usopp might fuck it up. What I'm thinking, though, is that maybe we're getting like a sort of power fantasy, like the time Usopp became actually useful. Something like that. I don't know. She can teach him to be competent. All right, here we go. I need my MC and deuteragonist, arguably the 2 most important roles in the show. Okay, wow. Okay, this is... I don't think he's MC. He doesn't have MC charisma. He's kind of quiet, but he does have deuteragonist. He does have deuteragonist in him. You know, he's all edgy. I mean, he was to an extent like a Dragon Ball deuteragonist. I mean, is a Dragon Ball like side character deuteragonist sort of role. I'm going to go deuteragonist, and hopefully I get a character that bounces off of him like very well as a rival. But this isn't bad because, look, we got a reality manipulator throwing the world out of whack, right? We have a literal panda for our sensei, and then we have a fucking alien as our deuteragonist rival. I'm thinking like a very like, you know, Don to Don sort of, you know, just bizarre kind of world, but it kind of all works. I'm gonna go deuteragonist. I'm gonna go deuteragonist. I'm also, okay. Yeah, like a JoJo sort of, just very, very strange, but still kind of consistent. Y'all need a love interest and a main villain. Actually, not. There's a role for him here. There's a role for him here. Yeah, like very absurd. That's the word I was looking for, absurdist. I just couldn't like put my tongue on it. Shanks as a main villain is not bad. That's not bad at all. It looked like they were pump faking him in that direction in canon for a while. Okay, I need my MC. I think just something, again, something. No, I need a human being, because Gene is their, you know, their foundation in the normal world, right? They're trying to keep up appearances in front of Gene. Whole time they're tapped in with aliens and talking pandas and reality shifting demons. All right. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we're going Pride Month. This isn't horrible actually, because when you think about it, I feel like from what I've seen so far, Gyro does fit that perfect middle ground of like he's grounded enough that it's like okay, a horseback race, whatever, whatever. But he does kind of his story does kind of dabble into the, you know, the absurd, the arcane. I'll take it. I'll take it. I think he has some MC charisma, especially when the deuteragonist is someone way stronger than him, like Piccolo. Gyro does scream gay. Yeah, he do. He do be dressed with the zest. This not a horrible yaoi right here, bro. I'm low key cooking. Netero as your love interest for. That's insane, Netero. Yeah, I think I won this one. I'm willing to hear a story that one of y'all can potentially put together. But I think I got this one here. This is why we should have done Nami for 4. I was thinking that too. I was thinking Nami for Sensei was a bit, you know, I don't know. Go yaoi for yaoi. I'm cooking y'all. Let's keep that a stack. Okay? Like Gyro and Jean, that's a cool ship. Like on the sly. No one wants this grizzled old stinky old man in Usopp young ass, bruh. Yaoi for yaoi, I'm cooking y'all. If anyone wants to hop in the courtroom to try to come up with, okay, we got someone in here. Hold on, let's see what they got to say. All I see is a K. I don't know who this is. We're going to see, though. What's good, K? Yo. All right, I'm listening. All right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm listening. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nami. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You might be banned from ever picking up the pen again, man. you might you might be banned from picking up the pen. I don't know. Did he cook? He becomes a brave or lovely. Of course, they're gonna glaze. The victory is in your hands. Yeah, no, that was nah. Why is he lusting over a 170-year-old man? Okay. How does Casca play? How does Casca play a role? Okay. So you're bringing this story into the One Piece world. Uh huh. You know what? That's a valiant effort with the cards you were dealt, bro. I respect. I respect the effort. All right, yo, niggas are funny, bro. All right, let's run. What time is it? Yeah, let's run one more. I like this version a lot. And then we're going to get into this ReZero shit. I still think I was cooking, bruh. Absurdist yaoi? When have we had that? We need more absurdist yaoi. Let's talk about it. I think I 3-0'd y'all so far, though. I think I 3-0'd y'all. Rukia. Okay, I can go Deuteragonist here. I could also go love interest. I don't know much about her character, though. I'm going to go Deuteragonist. Wasn't she like Sly a love interest, too, though? I'm going to go Deuteragonist, though. I'm going to go Deuteragonist. But putting her in Deuteragonist to an extent might box me into a shonen-esque story since she's like already dead or like a soul or some shit. I'm gonna go Deuteragonist. You know what I mean? She already fits that role. Yeah. That's good. Okay, y'all got the dragon chick from Dragon Maid. Niggas see big yitties on screen, immediately start plugging love interests. Didn't even question the character. I hate niggas, bruh. Fair enough. All right, let's see what I grab. Yoichi Naguma. That's good MC right there. That's solid MC. I'm gonna go MC. Yeah. You know, he still has experience to gain from what I remember. I haven't watched that much of Sakamoto. He still has experience to gain. I think he would bounce well off of like a Rukia. Yeah. I'm building up like just kind of like a stock standard heavy hitting shonen. Shinso. Interesting. Yeah, Shinso does have really good Deuteragonist vibes. That kind of like edge to him. You know, the evil sort of backstory or like evil quirk that he tries to use for good anyway. He really could have been a better Deuteragonist for My Hero in general. Underused character. All right, let's see if I can 4-0 y'all in the day. Ooh. Hold on. How old is Yoichi? $27? Oh, we out there. Hold on, let me just double check. You never know what anime. Rangiku age. Okay, she's well over 200, but she stopped aging at like 20 something. So we're going love interest. I was thinking sensei, but I gotta go love interest. And then how old is Rukia? Okay, over 100. Okay, but like, I don't know when she died. She looks teenager, young adult. I'm thinking like she's like a prodigious character, you know what I mean? Okay, you're an 18-year-old prodigy, you know, whatever. I'm going off their physical ages. I'm not doing their Soul Reaper ages. Otherwise, everyone's 2 million years old. All right, love interest. Okay. Kind of crazy I got 2 Bleach characters, and y'all got 3 One Piece characters last time. Like, what are the odds of that? Lungi. Now I have a vision in mind for this story. I mean, I don't know if Dragon Girl really fits into it, but between Shinso and Lungi, I have a vision in mind. But let's see if any of y'all are tapped in enough to really like get that vision into place. But here's what I'm gonna say. Lungi. Now I'm not gonna give y'all a free story. Hold on. I'm not giving y'all free cook. I'm not giving y'all free cook. Hyakkimaru, that's sensei. Hyakkimaru sensei. But hold on. That's what you would want to naturally think. But I think he could be a very compelling main villain. All right. He has the tragic backstory. Right? He has a reason to be angry at the world, to be angry at life, to be angry at God, whatever. You know, we have sort of a swordsman sort of theme going on here. He's a swordsman. We give him some power boosts, okay? We turn him into a main villain. He could be a very compelling main villain. The hoes would be all over him, okay? This is selling good merchandise. I think just because of the tragic backstory, you know how they say like a hero and a villain are like one choice away from each other, right? Because of his backstory and the way he's built up, I feel like he is one sort of different choice away from being a villain. And so I think because he has the foundational groundwork to be a villain, I'm gonna throw him in main villain. I think y'all about to get 4-0'd on the day, y'all. I just need a good sensei now. That's going to be hard because I've been getting pretty lucky with my rolls so far. But I trust that putting Hyakkimaru in villain was the right decision. Noel Silva. Okay, yeah. The idea I had in mind for y'all, game is gone. We got like high fantasy. We got hero fantasy. We got grounded, gritty, seinen. Yuri wins. Isn't that like a 250-year-old dragon, bro? Or like an adult dragon? I don't know. I guess it fits for anime, huh? Hundreds of thousands to million years old. Y'all want your teenage MC to date a million? Hey, y'all can cook. That's probably that'll work for a certain audience, bro. If y'all want to, you know what I mean? If y'all want to do that, that's y'all. You know what I mean? Me over here, I'm trying to keep it ethical. But y'all can do what y'all got to do over there. Sensei? All right, let's see who I get from my sensei. I'll take it. I will take it. All you really need for sensei is rule of cool. I'll take it. He's charismatic. He's funny. I'll take it. I will take it. He would have been a solid main villain. Definitely 5 and 3 replaced would have worked as well. But I feel like it works either which way. All right, and then Draken as your MC. Look, I will let you change characters. I will let you bring characters in the different locations. So you can bring Noel into a more modern, realistic world, if that works. It's really the love interest that fucked you up. Quetzalcoatl as, however you say that shit, as Sensei and Noel as love interest, then we would have had some cook. But I'm willing to hear what niggas have to say about this one. All right, DP wants to redeem himself. We'll see. We'll see. All right, DP. Potential redemption time. Okay. Rungi is a police. Okay, okay, okay. I'm listening. I'm listening. Detective, yeah. Okay. Okay. Right, right, right. How did he steal a million-year old? How did he kid? Yeah, yeah. That's my question. How did he kidnap a million-year-old dragon? That could. I mean, he's smart as a detective. He. I don't know if he can think of how to kidnap a dragon. All right, all right, all right. I'll give it to you. Okay. Hmm. All right. So let's. I'm gonna be a fan. I'm gonna be like a viewer of your story. All right. First question I'm gonna ask is do you want to explain the decision you made between the age gap between the child MC and the adult looking million-year-old dragon? He. I mean, even then though, she looks like a grown woman, regardless. Though, you know, what I mean, it's not even like she's the. Does he? He just looks like a tall 16-year-old. I don't know if he looks like a man, but I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Okay, okay, okay. How do we? Where does Shinso's powers come into play? Where does the Shinso Ken relationship? How does that work? Okay. How so? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Like. Right. 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 Very dishonest. couldn't he just couldn't he just brainwash him to tell him the shit? It- okay, okay, right. But I thought you said he was fighting for the well-being of the city. So he's getting corrupted by his mission. Okay, okay. Yeah, you cooking on the sly. You cooking on the sly. I'm not gonna lie. I think it would work better if the dragon and Noel were swapped. But I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. All right. I don't. I'll give y'all that. I'll give y'all that point, bro. I'm not gonna have y'all be 4-0 on the day. I'm not gonna have y'all be 4-0 on the day. I'll give y'all that point. It easily could have been a 4-0, but I appreciate the effort from DP, so we gonna give it to him. We gonna give it to him. Pity win. All right. Let's get into some re zero. So the first thing I want to do today. Let's see. What do I want to do today? Let me check my schedule. I'm already kind of not off schedule, but what is it? Damn, it's already June. All right. First thing I want to do. We're gonna do some ReZero cut content from the last episode. We're gonna do a ReZero cut content video for the last episode. All right. Some of y'all said y'all wanted to see that, so we're gonna give that a try. Will I ever try One Piece? I plan on doing One Piece content eventually, bro. Like next year, I'm gonna be on the One Piece wave when that next season comes along. I just need to catch up. I'm on Thriller Bark right now. I actually planned on getting past Thriller Bark tonight, okay? So before y'all start frying me for still being on Thriller Bark, I planned on, like, tonight, after I upload, I'm going to just lock in, just read, Thriller Bark it out. But let's get some ReZero. Let's get some ReZero going. Let me turn off that AC real quick. Y'all don't think I'm getting out of Thriller? Check on me tomorrow. Y'all can quiz me about Thriller Bark tomorrow. Bet you I'll be out of Thriller Bark. How many chapters is Thriller Bark? How many chaps is Thriller Bark? 48 chapters? That's kind of long. That's like, what, 4 or 5 volumes? Okay, maybe I won't be out of... I'll be out of, like... We're gonna see. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then we're gonna get into ReZero. Hold on, y'all. I think Eno finally wants to go outside to take a shit. So I'm gonna handle that. In the meantime, I got you, bro. Give me a sec. In the meantime, y'all can 1v1 the mods. And the theme will be. This will be the theme again. All right, I'll come back to see where y'all have gotten after Eno takes his boo boo. Wait. Hear me out, mods. Hear me out. I got some fire, bruh. I got some fire. Place Ryuji and MC. Cause think about it, bro. We got like a Subaru type character. You know, a normal dude transported into this world, this fantasy world, Vikings and knights and shit. And you know what I mean? Rock. Okay. I feel like we might be cooking something on my end, though. Bro has to fight Griffith? Like, come on, bruh. We about to get into some ReZero content, right? Niggas love the suffering stories. How does he combat a Griffith? By training over and over again with doors until he gets to that level where he, you know, he had to be summoned to this world for a reason. He has to have some sort of competency. If you're in the YouTube stream, slide on over to the Twitch, by the way. He got a system. Yeah, nigga got a system on him. Am I reading One Piece or watching it? I'm reading it. It's just Griffith or Femto's in the mix. I'm going Femto since we're doing main villain. And then we got, I feel like this is solid. Oh, wait, this is the chat. Okay. I still feel like we got something solid going on the left. All right, let me get this ReZero video ready. She was teleported from Japan with Ryuji. Ooh, hold on. That's kind of cold. You niggas are not winning. That show is unwinnable. Congratulations. Oh man, that's funny. That nigga told me to hurry up and get to his content. All right. Let's get into this ReZero video. Speaking of Natsuki Subaru. Whoops. Wrong thing. All right, so as y'all know, we just got done with episode 10. Uh-oh, Abe is here on some bullshit again. Anywho, as y'all know, let me make sure everything's recording. Did I turn off the AC? Okay, it was just chicken butt. As y'all know, we just got done with the most recent episode of ReZero the other day. ReZero Season 4, Episode 10. And y'all said in one of my prior ReZero videos that y'all would be interested in seeing me react to and understand some of the cut content. You know, there's some really good creators on YouTube like the boy Anna News who go over the sort of light novel cut content because especially in the case of a story like ReZero, there is a lot of content that is just kind of stripped from the narrative because translating a book to an anime, there's just a lot of content that has to go, especially when you have limited runtime, limited budget, whatever. whatever. And so that's what we're doing for the most recent episode of ReZero. The video is called "The Case of The Case of Subaru Natsuki's Murder." ReZero Season 4, Episode 10, Cut Content. Let's see what we missed. Okay. Whoa. Oh, okay. Wait, this was a couple episodes ago. Hold on. My brain told me that that was a spoiler, right? Because we saw Subaru was about to fight Ram at the end of the last episode. Like my brain saw him choking out Ram, and we know by now Subaru likes to choke niggas out, bro. Like we have seen pretty thoroughly now that Subaru's chosen method of murder is choking people, mainly women too. I never seen his ass try to choke a grown man. His ass would not choke Reed the stick swinger, but whenever a girl pops up, he's ready to choke someone down. But all right, let's keep it pushing. Okay. Now the melee personality is interesting to me. One, because okay, we already know. I'm assuming this is supposed to represent Nubaru, right? The Subaru we're dealing with the past two episodes and at the beginning of the series. This is obviously, the Subaru we've grown to know and love. It's probably why they changed his clothes, to be honest, right? Because he did kind of reach a point as a character where he is, different than what we originally knew to be Subaru. But this melee has been interesting. This melee has been interesting because I wonder how much they're going to commit to this melee. If they're going to keep having this melee like afflict them throughout the remainder of the story, or where they're going with that. Because one thing about Subaru, right? Up until now, he's mainly dealt with, physical problems, physical afflictions, so on and so forth. But as we know, Return by Death, his mind goes to the past, retaining what it had gained in the future or in the present, depending on what you look at it. And so the question becomes, if he gets something serious like, the melee schizophrenia he has now, that should stick with him through any Return by Deaths, right? Yeah. I will say the melee personality seems different because that personality in particular seems like it seems separate, right? Like entirely separate, and it interacts. We haven't seen Subaru's personalities, New and Old Baru. We haven't seen them interact with each other. But this melee at least seems to have the ability to interact with Subaru. Hold on. You got to chill with that toy, bro. Hey, you got to chill with that toy. I'm recording, gang. Yo, yo. I'm sorry, bro. Not right now. You'll get it back later, bro. Trust me. All right. No, bro. Leave the toy alone. All right. Anywho, back to it. Okay. All right, bro. If you have the toy, you gotta go in here. All right. Now I'm gonna have to cut all that shit out. Let's get it. Okay, they have Reed on. Why my boy Reed making that? He looks like he's making that face of the like a Chad face or something. I don't know why why he trying to look pretty. Okay, so we didn't see that, right? We didn't see him attempt any CPR, which I do think, I mean, I get why they cut it, but I feel like that would have added more context to like the fact that he does feel some sort of remorse or some sort of disgust at the situation. You know what I mean? Because in the anime, when he went right to lying, I realized as I was watching back my reaction, it did get me into the mindset of like thinking Subaru was doing this and hiding Mei's body in like a malicious manner when really he knows just as much as us about what's going on, right? And so I feel like those rescue breathings and shit probably could have probably could. We did see him though. Oh, 2 episodes ago. You're right. You're right. You're right. Right. Okay. Okay. I remember this now. Did we see the tools in the anime? Okay, yeah, we did see this. I remember seeing the nails and thinking like, what was he grabbing at? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, now I see what people are saying about the light novel, right? We really get into bro's head and understand why he's making the choices that he makes. And I mean, it's only a little bit different than what we got, right? Like the basic concept of what's happening is still it still comes across in the anime, right? That basic concept being he's tweaking out, you know what I mean, punching his arm or whatever. But I do think when you get more in depth with the reasoning, like what was just described, it does kind of like characterize the tweak out better. Makes it more like existentially dreadful. Right. Okay, I do wish we got that handwriting tidbit somehow. Did he at any point in the episode did he think like this is my handwriting? Because I was thinking this might have been put here as like a red herring. Right? That is an interesting dynamic, right? We have all of these characters here around Subaru that we've built up to kind of trust as viewers, right? With, obviously third person omniscience. But Subaru, he he can't trust none of them, right? And so we almost get like the reverse, where like normally a story will have a bunch of mystery characters that we don't trust. And then, we're looking from the perspective of a narrator, an MC that we can trust, right? But now Subaru has kind of become like an unreliable narrator. We know all these people around him. I mean, Melee and Shala are still a bit suspicious, but we know all these people around him are decent people that have his best interest in mind. But we're looking at it from the perspective of Nubaru, who has no idea that that's the case, and so he kind of becomes the unreliable narrator, or like the mystery aspect in that regard. Yeah. Makes sense. Again, we got the extra detail about him ruminating on trials and stuff, which is interesting. But yeah, he hit it because, he was overwhelmed and he didn't know what would happen. Honestly, in that situation, I probably would have hid that shit too, bro. Because what am I going to do? Explain, like, nah, bro, something took over my body and. Okay, bro. Fair. True. I guess that does make sense, huh? There's confirmed people from the last loop that he saw dead, and those two weren't in that mix. And so, low key, her and Beatrice would kind of be, at least from his perspective, again, right? Ironically enough, these are the two characters closest to him in canon, and that's kind of a cool dichotomy. We're like, yeah, these are the two characters who Subaru probably trusts the most, but Nubaru probably trusts them the least just because of all this circumstantial evidence. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I don't think we saw that in the episode. We definitely did see him, sort of question a little bit the way he was acting, but I don't think he questioned if the deaths could have been accidents. But maybe I'm tweaking. And so is that why he was kind of going into that tizzy in the episode about trying to figure out why all of these people loved him? Like, was he starting to think like, oh, maybe I am just evil? That okay? So I never got the impression that he was like dead ass about to tell her. That would have changed the story a lot. Yeah, I just remember Ron coming in and kind of cutting the conversation off. That's what I had figured. I was wondering why Beatrice was in the library, but then I thought about it. It was like, okay, isn't that where they found his body? So she was investigating, and she just so happened to come across Maylee's book, which again was a crazy coincidence. Okay, why did it appear so fast? I'm assuming it's instant, right? You die, your book appears. Why was it found so easily? That's my question too. And I'm glad Subaru kind of called it out. I wonder if it was like a meta sort of thing, right? Like the author acknowledging, like, yeah, there's two possibilities here. Either, and I'm starting to think with the frequency they're running into books of people they know, I'm starting to think that there may be some other force, some sort of supernatural force that kind of like makes books of people appear, right? Because if we're saying this is an infinite library, the odds of you finding one book of someone much less three back to back to back, are, I mean, it's literally one to infinity, right? It's infinitesimally small. And so I am starting to think that, like, you know what I mean, the tower kind of, I mean, it's re-zero, right? Who knows what type of magic it can be. We already know there's all sorts of other magic shit, like, Reed's domain and what have you. We already know there's all sorts of magic shit afflicting this tower. And so I don't think it's anything crazy to think that there's some magic that draws these books out, or puts them in a place where they can be found when someone walks into that library that would know the person. He had to be the one to read the book. Okay, so that right. I was forgetting that. You know what I mean? Not only did he want to, learn about her murder, this would also be his only lead to figuring out what the fuck he was on when he murdered her. We can all agree that Shala's definitely tapped into something, right? Like I read the last episode as Shallow kind of knows what happened, and because of her loyalty to her master, she kind of did him a solid and hid the body. But like the way she was acting, she's 100% tapped in with what's going on. She was whispering and winking at him and shit. She knows. Okay. Right. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Does that distance affect how the book affects you? Right? Because he didn't mind merge with who was it? He read some didn't he read one of the witches books at some point? And now that I'm thinking about it, let's talk about that. Is Satella's essence being inside of him potentially what tracked a witch's book? I mean, if we're saying Maylee's book comes up for Beatrice or whoever, you know what I mean? Maybe Satella's essence inside of him attracted that witch's book. But anywho, is it such that the closer you are to the person, the deeper the effect of the book is on you? And so because he was, arguably one of the closest people to Maylee in her short life, that's why he has this whole mental Maylee schizophrenia now where she has a whole personality in his head. That's true though, right? Nubaru and Subaru do have two different experiences with Melee. Nubaru didn't have all the shit from season 1 or season 3 or season whatever. You know what I mean? He didn't know her like that. And so that makes me wonder, would the book showing up reacting to in the level in which the personality kind of merged with him? Is that reacting to Nubaru or is that reacting to old Subaru's body and experiences? Without knowing words. Okay, so they did bring these lines up. They didn't say them over and over, but they did come up when they were first telling her story. I thought that first line was really cool. Without knowing words, one couldn't know how to grieve. That was cool. Hmm. Interesting. I didn't pick that up from the way they presented her story. I had always, and she was to an extent, but I always, from what I had seen in this telling of her story, I had read her relationship with Elsa as pretty distant. But it looks like in her own weird sort of way, she did have some sort of care for her, or at least some sort of solace in the fact that she would never die. I guess. Interesting. So she was looking for Elsa's book, I believe. I wonder if he's gonna come back to it, but he skipped over that animal scene, bro. And for me personally, that animal scene was the most vicious scene of the whole thing, bro, where she was getting transformed into giant roaches and angler fishes and shit. That's kind of what stuck with me the most. I wonder what that was like within the novel. Okay, so she was trying to kill Subaru. She was trying to kill Subaru. I was wondering if that was her what had happened here. But I guess we do have confirmation now that she was going to slime this nigga. And I still don't necessarily think he killed her in self defense, but it is interesting knowing that that's what she was on right there. Everything she set up around the tower. Do we? I don't think we know about that in the anime. Yeah, I was thinking Mabi's booby traps. Yeah, Subaru killed her ass. What was that rule set thing? I mean, we're gonna see. But I was confused on that part when he was saying, "Oh no, you knowing right now that's against the rules" or some shit like that. Okay. This time you're out on a rule infraction, but I'm looking forward to bigger things from you next time. So, is whatever personality or whatever is possessing his body seems to have some sort of cognizance of return by death, right? If it's talking about next time, which low key makes me wonder, is it a Subaru that is doing all this crazy shit? Because what else would know about return by death? The only other thing I can think of is if maybe some of the, archbishop shit within him somehow has the ability to witness return by death. Do your best just like every other time. Hmm. Okay, yeah, we did see this, her living as a crazy ass little beast girl. Blank, 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 blank. Okay, and I'm assuming this is when they combine, right? Like the way we saw it in the anime, or at least I was watching a fan subbed episode because I've heard there are many issues with the official subs. But the way they represented it in the fan sub was, the me and the color of Mei speak. But I guess they did this sort of ASCII thing in the novel, which is interesting. Yeah. Wait, wait, wait. Do they? Huh. I was gonna say, do they have the same number of letters in their name? No, it's close. It's close, but not exactly. Kenichi Natsuki, Elsa, Gramhild, Naoko. I'm assuming these are his parents. Petra, Amelia, Shala, Beatrice, Frederica, Anastasia, Garfield, Julius, Otto, Rom, the blue-haired someone, me, you, I, me, someone, I, you, I. Me, I, Subaru Natsuki. Me, I, Subaru Natsuki. Oh yeah, that boy was mentally going through it, bruh. Plucked out. So that I don't remember anything about that in the anime. Was I'm assuming this is internal monologue. He's saying, "All right, this is what I have to do to myself: pluck these memories out and make sure I only pick the right ones." And one, how would you go about doing that? But two, that is kind of scary, huh? Because if we're using the argument that the memory makes the person, right? You take out some memories, if those are the right memories, you could come out the other end a whole different person. And yeah, I think it's interesting that that dialogue was removed because, I had no idea this was the type of shit he was on, wanting to pluck out memories and, this is how he was thinking about going about handling this issue. Right. But it does kind of seem like the core identity, at least right now, is still Subaru, right? It's not like he's bouncing back and forth between Subaru and Melee. It seems like he has like Subaru as like his base identity, and then this Melee identity that kind of like sits in his head interacting with the Subaru identity. But it's not like, you know what I mean? It would be different if he was like dead ass flopping back and forth between Subaru and Melee in like a sort of Split style. You know what I mean? Y'all know the movie Split? But it seems like he has this base Subaru, right? And then now there's like a Melee on top of it. But the Melee never seems to take over in earnest. Hmm. I wonder what that's about. Now here's a theory. What if Melee killed Melee? And here's what I mean by that. All right, this is getting like, y'all know how I get with the ReZero theories, bro. I start bullshitting, but this one's like kind of serious, kind of not. But I'm thinking like a time loop thing, right? We already know Subaru is kind of in a time loop, and we already know that there's this evil, grinning personality that kills Melee. If he returns by death right now, and Melee sticks with him, what's to say that Melee can't take over the body in its entirety? And that's sort of the tweaking Subaru that we see killing Melee. And so, in a way, Subaru's Melee personality killed Melee, which gave birth to the Melee personality in the first place. Yeah, this probably isn't it, but I feel like it would be cool, right? Like, imagine a plot point. We have this personality that gives birth to itself by inflict. But why? I'm thinking the only reason why would be because, what I mean, for that Melee personality to even exist, the prerequisite is killing Melee. And so it would kill Melee to give birth to itself, which would then go back in time to kill Melee. It's like some weird time loop shit, but that's just what I'm thinking. Melee personality only appears after the book reading. That's what I was thinking though. It's like, okay, imagine, and this is where it becomes like a paradox, right? Like most time loops. But if Subaru reads this book on one of his loops, the Melee personality is born. If the Melee personality is born and it sticks with him through return by death, then the Melee personality would exist during a time before the book was read. If the Melee personality existed during a time before the book was read, it would need to give Subaru a reason to read the book in order to give birth to the Melee personality. And so it would kill Melee in order to, set forth the cascade of events that led to Subaru reading the book. It's like some weird time travel, what happens if you kill your grandpa type shit, right? But it's just food for thought. That's what came to my head. New Baru, Old Baru, and Melee. Hmm. But we haven't seen. So is what are we meant to assume that it actually is a Natsuki Subaru that's like slicing into his arm and shit? Right. He was sitting there wondering like, yo, why do people love me so much? What did I do to attain this love? Which is kind of sad when you think about it, right? It makes you wonder what Nubaru or season 1 Subaru, what type of life he was coming out of, where he can't even process the fact that he has people who are willing to ride for him like this. And it kind of makes me sad that like that Subaru is gone now and we're back to Nubaru, because it's like, damn, he worked so hard to forge these relationships, which now he can't even trust, which now are kind of null. I mean, yeah, he had loving parents, but we don't know what his life was like outside of that, right? Someone could be living a perfectly good home life and still be struggling in school or struggling in their personal life. You know what I mean? Interesting. So now we have a dynamic where Nubaru is envious of Subaru, which almost makes me think this is supposed to be like a sort of testament to how his life was before the isekai, right? Because he's looking at old Subaru, Nubaru's looking at old Subaru like, yo, how does he have all this and I don't? I'm envious of the support system he has in his life. I find that interesting. I'm not gonna lie, Elsa was fun. Of course, we got the belly buttons too, man. It wouldn't be ReZero without these damn belly buttons. But my girl Elsa, bruh, golly, Elsa, man, Elsa should have kidnapped me for real, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. You know, I would have taken the Capella torture for Big E. Interesting. Yeah, that is kind of sad. That is kind of sad. You know. It's almost like when you have a family member that passes and you try to find solace in like old recordings, or I mean, if your family member's old enough, they might not have that many recordings, but old recordings or pictures or stuff like that. You know what I mean? You might end up learning something new about them, but you're still looking for solace in that person who isn't there anymore. Wait, run that back. Say that again. If the Book of the Dead could help him understand Melee, then perhaps it could help him understand Subaru. Okay, that makes sense. I was questioning also at the beginning of the season if Subaru got a new book every time he returned by death, but I had assumed the answer was no. But that could be a good way to get his memories back. Y'all remember in Death Note how like the memories stuck to the book, and like if you grab the book, the memories would come flying back. That could be a interesting way to bring old Baru back. Why my light turn blue? That could be an interesting way to bring old Baru back. You know what I mean? Have him like grab his own book or grab a prior Subaru book and have those memories flood back. Could be interesting. That would be so fucking annoying. Imagine you're like, oh shit, I found a book. I'm gonna just leave it here and go get my man's. I'm gonna leave it here and go grab my man's, and pop back out, and then you come back and that shit is gone. Yeah, and I don't think we had ever. I don't remember that ever being brought up in the story before, which is also kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? We be forgetting that bro really is going through it. You know, it's easy to forget because of how he expresses himself and him always kind of being all happy or not even happy, but outgoing. You know what I mean? But I wonder if like when shit cools down for a bit, do he be in that room like really going through it? Hmm. And that had to do with Shaula, surely. That is weird, right? Like a sort of dysphoria. You know, you quite literally being in a body in which you don't belong. Imagine though, like a dysphoria that doesn't come physically, but like a dysphoria that comes from the world around you. Like Subaru is in his same body. I imagine it couldn't have changed that much since he got transported from Japan. Probably a bit healthier, right? Probably feels a bit better, honestly. But like everything he knows is just different. And it's not even like, original Nubaru where he's walking in with a clean slate, as far as we know, and is able to forge out new relationships and kind of, start over from zero. Ha 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 ha. It's Nubaru walking into a world, getting isekai into a world where he already made progress, but he doesn't know nothing about any of that progress, bro. All the people he's met, all the relationships he's forged, all the victories, all the losses, all that shit that's behind him, that has him in the position where he is today, he has no context, bro. I don't even know what you would call that type of like disconnect, dysphoria, whatever, but it would definitely be messed up. Did we see that yet? Hold on. This might be getting into spoilers. He got some fat ass ears in this particular frame too. I'm just not. That's just what I see. Okay, and that was the name of the episode. Makes sense, bro. Makes sense. Like I feel like once you cross that line, also, you know what I mean. It's just like one of those lines you don't cross because, like, on some Batman shit, a lot of people think Batman's ideology is crazy, and it kind of is. He's meant to be like a manic sort of crazy character. But the idea that like once you cross a line, it there is no going back, and it becomes too easy to go back, and it can become a habit. That's not even a crazy thought, bruh. Like if someone is bothering me, if someone comes in this chat trolling me, talking shit, my first thought isn't, yo, I'm finna boom that nigga. Like I'm finna find him and really get him out of here, bro. But let's say, just hypothetically, one of y'all really got on my nerves, hypothetically, and I hypothetically found y'all and hypothetically boomed your shit. and hypothetically got away with it, hypothetically. Well, then all of a sudden, if another nigga come in here trolling, the hypothetical thought of hypothetically booming one of y'all hypothetical based on your hypothetical actions, that hypothetical wouldn't feel that crazy anymore. You know what I mean? It's like after you've done it once, let's lower the stakes a little bit, right? Let's lower the stakes. When I was younger, I used to like just boom people for fun. It's like, nah, I'm playing. When I was younger, I used to like, I wasn't allowed to go on the computer that much, right? I wasn't allowed to use the computer. And so one day, you know, me being a little badass kid, I found out the computer password, and I would just go on it whenever my parents weren't home or at nighttime. And the first time I did that shit, I might as well have been on Mission Impossible, bruh. Might as well. Like, your heart was beating. Like, I thought I was James Bond or something, bro. It just seemed like such a crazy idea to do something so forbidden. But after I had done it once, I was like, oh, that's it. And, you know, I ended up doing it again and again and again and again, because there was really never any consequences to it. And what once was something so forbidden to me that I wouldn't even consider it, wouldn't even question it, quickly became a habit. A habit. Murder becomes a habit, right? So scale that up, you know, make it 50, 60 times more immoral and change it to murder. I could see how the idea of murder becoming a habit is you know, something that the story would interact with. Interesting. All right, bet. Well, that was cool. That was cool. I rock with that. Yo.
Your power adapter's on the floor.
My what? Hey. All right. Could record some Daemons. But fun fact, Anna News only reads up to where the anime is. He doesn't read ahead. Yeah, I kind of picked up on that. I picked up on that based on the way he was talking about, like, earlier in the video. He was saying, like, there was some stuff he didn't know. And I was like, why wouldn't he know if he was just if he was a novel reader? Then I was like, oh, he probably reads the chapter up to where we're at and then makes videos on it, which is pretty smart. Pretty smart. Because it almost feels like it's like he's doing a mix of a reaction and a recap retelling, you know? Anyway, I think I might dip early today. I'm not going to cap. It's been a long week. And I got some Thriller Bark to read. What's good, PK? We'll probably watch Daemons tomorrow. Good hustle, though, posting almost every... I'm trying to, man. I think it's funny. I remember Taco used to be in here. Y'all don't remember Taco. The 3-hour stream. Bro, we've literally been like 10, 15 minutes away from the 3-hour stream like every day this past month. But yeah, I find it funny. Taco used to be like, yo, drop 7 days a week, bro. I'd be like, no, that's never happening. And then he was right. He was right. YouTube just wants me to spam. Stream endurance hitting low stocks? That's not true. All right, look. Look, bro. I got to pull up the stats. Let's look at the endurance stats, bro. Let's look at the endurance stats. All right, recent streams. All right, this has been this month so far. 2 hours 44 on the first. 2 hours 7 on the second. Okay, 143 on the third's a little crazy. But that was like a quick stream. I think I had something to do. 230 on the fourth. 247 fifth, 255 on the 6th. That basically is the 3-hour stream. The 255, you got to give me that. 255, I come on, bro. 228 on the 8th, 236 on the 9th, 235 on the 11th, 225 on the 12th. And then today it's probably going to be like 155. Daemons now. We'll do Daemons tomorrow, gang. Unk's tired. Unk's EP. Unk has to read Thriller Bark. I definitely hit 3 on here before, though. Like, I've hit 3. For sure. I've hit 4 on here before. Y'all are hating. A quick Daemons react would get you there. When am I going to hit 9? Never. Never, ever. Look. All right, you know what? Oh, whoops, it's muted.